Myself Prantika, CPC of AIML Batch 1.
And myself Ayushi, CPC of AIML Batch 2. And today we have gathered here for the group discussion 5 on the topic Life Lessons of Bhagwat Geeta. How can its teachings help us in professional success?
So let's start from the introduction of our team members.
I'm Astha. I'm Muskan.
I'm Dharna.
I'm Jayant.
I'm Harjot. I'm Hitesh.
So now let's start this topic from a question. Why do people often say that open a page of the Bhagwat Geeta and you will find answer to a question?
I think I would like to say something on that. It's kind of right. Bhagwat Geeta is like a life guide. It can guide you any topic. If you are in any dilemma, if we open it and we might not get the exact answer, but we will get an idea of our answer about our dilemma. Because in that book it is about Arjun and Krishna conversation. It guided Arjun when he was in the biggest dilemma of his life.
Yeah, when we go through the text, the very first beginning, the Dhritarashtra asked the question. Then after Sanjay replied the answer, then after everyone has said something, even though Duryodhana has said many things. But you will find the Krishna, who is a highly intellectual person, he didn't even say even a single verse. This shows what is the importance of listening.
Even the Krishna's silence had meaning in that.
Everybody of us needs to understand that we are more powerful than we are thinking. Our pains, failures, and heartbreaks, no matter how painful they are always small than ourselves.
So basically, you want to say everyone is capable of solving their problems. No problem is bigger than any person, and this is written in Gita.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, Bhagavad Gita also tells us how our own mind can be our greatest friend or greatest enemy. So for example, if
Now I have a really good example on that. For instance, when it's really cold and winters, for instance in California and also in Delhi, where temperature sometimes reaches at 46 degrees Celsius, where people might die, but still they somehow manages to get into the work and do their regular tasks. And somehow this appreciation, we have to somehow appreciate that.
And this exactly the same happens in summers also. We cope up with the situation with a few adjustments, and I think Bhagavad Gita in relate to that can guide us how can we adjust in real life also. When we face ups and downs in our real life, we can manage it. But we can manage it similarly the way we manage climate change in our life.
So the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, if it is followed carefully, it helps us to manage stress and we can focus on our work, and it also helps us to in building our leadership qualities.
Bhagavad Gita also gives mindfulness. You can also work on Bhagavad Gita to calm your mind and to do so many things which you want to achieve in your life.
yeah, Bhagavad Gita also tells us that not only on our downfalls, we should
also favor us in success too. We should see if we are also able to maintain us in success. And if we are able to maintain us in our failure, we will be able to maintain us in our success. We should not overwhelm on the success.
It guides us how to maintain equality, how to maintain a balance between the success and the failures. People often talk about how to manage pains and failures, but nobody talks about how to manage success. And I think I would like my friends to discuss on this topic, that how Bhagavad Gita emphasizes on the topic that how we should even tackle success.
Now by the time we reach chapter 6 in Bhagavad Gita, many people don't understand what's happening underneath the hoods. And somehow it continues in chapter 6 as well. When we come across religious talks in that chapter, and it comes to religious places, it talks about divinity, and where people often have misleading thoughts that they somehow only get these kind of furious thoughts only by going to the religious places.
Yeah, in addition to that, if we talk about divinity, we often see people doing better than us. And we might feel envious of that they are doing better than us. But since he talked about divinity, I would like to say that we can even think other way, that the other person, along with their efforts, they have an X factor, which can be called divinity. And I think since he mentioned about divinity, he can explain better how that's divinity and not to feel envious.
In the Gita, we see that Arjuna was the profound warrior of that time. But in the text, he cannot able to fight. He surrendered his bow and the lotus feet of Krishna and said, I can't able to fight from my friends and colleagues and my family members. He says, I will control the whole thunderstorm by a single arrow, but I can't able to control my mind. Then Krishna answered him and solved his issue through the Bhagavad Gita. And then we also have the same problem of mind control.
Now in chapter 6, it also talks about quote-unquote success, where people have this thought, the furious thought, again furious, as they somehow get jealous of the other person's success, and it basically wants to take you not just granted things, and it tries to make you calmer, and by thinking it should improve you in some way for your future responsibilities and as well as your future guidings.
Yeah, true. But we should not. But we should not also take dignity for granted, as the main role is of our own hard work.
And efforts.
And
Even if
efforts,
it's just an X factor in our hard work, but we should not just depend on divinity that everything will just depend on it. We should not leave our hard work.
We can take inspiration from the person who we think is blessed by the divinity. We can take inspiration that he or she is blessed by the divinity. Then if we take inspiration from that person, we might have that success in next time. We can even get the inspiration to try better next time rather to be the envious person.
Bhagavad Gita also tells us how to manage stress levels and not getting depressed.
Now, by the end of the book, we also have come across many things to just pass out on the hurdles that we are facing on our lives. So don't depress, and there are so many things in your life you can achieve. Just take a look at the book. Try to read it calmly, read it exceptionally yourself.
Now I would like to mention a shlok here. Karmanyavadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachanan ma karm phal hetu bhur mate sarvastva karmani. This shlok means that you have the right to do your works. You are supposed to do your duties, but you are not supposed to expect any fruit from that. You can't just expect that you will get something by doing this.
We can say that we don't have a right on the fruits of our actions. We just have the right to perform our actions.
Yeah,
Which is also known as a nishkam karma.
Nishkam karma. Karm karo, phal ki chinta mat karo. We say in Hindi, do your work but not have any expectations about the outcome or the results.
We can also take an example in that if we are working here and we are performing something for achieving something, we should not desperate about the destination of success. We should prioritize our path, the journey which we are facing, the journey which we are making, and the thing which we make ourselves in that journey is more important than the destination where we reach.
Yeah, journey is important than destination.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have to put total focus on our action, on our result, on the road, not on the destination. If we put our little bit of focus on the result, then we cannot put justice on for the result work. So Gita is saying the same thing. Total focus is being done on the work.
Gita is not about this thing. Gita is also about yoga. You can also think about that. Yoga will give so many things to you. It will give alignment in your body.
It basically the main thing that how Gita help us how to tackle stress in our life, how to manage stress with the help of yoga, meditation and other things. Gita is not, we can even not cover the whole guidance Gita gives in any time taken. It's that vast. We can only cover according to our knowledge, according to how vast we can think. Otherwise, Gita is so vast, we cannot cover in any time stamp.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, an example is coming to my mind as 1% improvement could lead to exponentially improve yourself. And this is true and also written in the book, somehow indirectly, but not explicitly.
Gita also gives us confidence, and it tells us how powerful we are. We can control any type of situation. We can tackle any type of problems. By reading Gita, we can get answer of any question we need in our life.
Gita helps us to tackle the dilemmas. It, as I mentioned earlier also, that Krishna guided Arjun when he was in the battlefield, when he was in that dilemma. So basically, we all are humans. We have the dilemmas and confusions like whether not to be there or not, whether to do this or not. And I think to all our dilemmas, the Gita has the answer. We are the youngsters. We have this. We have very many different problems. Like we think sometimes our problems, our heartbreaks, they are bigger than us, but it's not like that.
Because Gita has started the dilemma. Arjuna will get dilemma, then Krishna mentor him. So Bhagavad Gita is just about, because it starts the dilemma. So we can adjust all the dilemmas of our life with the Bhagavad Gita and can get to know about it. And Bhagavad Gita will be so helpful for us.
So as he said, but actually, Bhagavad Gita only provided us answer for the specific questions. But
It also tells us how to tackle our mind.
yeah,
It also
that's
gives
true.
us confidence.
Okay,
When our mind plays with us, it also tells us how to play it back.
okay, but Bhagavad Gita was written thousands of years ago. But
It's
But-
magical that it can give solutions in this era also.
how?
Well, you don't have a certain path to have. It is a pathless path.
He questioned how Bhagavad Gita is still giving answers even if it was written years ago.
Yeah.
And I think that's magic. It gives the conversation between Krishna and Arjun. Krishna himself, he's a, like we mentioned earlier, the divinity.
Yeah.
It's a proof, like it's a proof. It is by divine power. This question is nice actually. That how? It's like proving this, that the divine power mentioned earlier, it is exactly divine power, it is magical. That even being written years ago, it is still giving us answers.
Yeah, because in our individual life, we are facing many battles in our home, in our office, and but actually the mindset and the type of person are still the same. So you can say that it is still implemented.
Yeah, it deals with the mindset of all kind of people. Like it can give, it is not about mindset.
Yeah.
And we all have different mindsets.
Yeah, true.
Still, we can say that any one of us can get the answers in that book. And also, since he mentioned about offices in professional life, I would like to say that Gita is not like a Bible for climbing the stairs of success in professional life. It's not like that. That you will follow that and you will get everything. Your hard work matters, other things matters.
So you are saying that if we follow Gita, that's don't be talent, but will take us to the height of success.
Yeah. Talent,
No,
efforts, Gita.
No,
Okay.
I disagree because Gita tells us to do hard work, irrespective of the result. So that doesn't mean that if you read Gita and you will get success.
No, I am
If you-
not saying I will read Gita and I will get success. I am saying if I follow the path.
Yeah,
Again, we are going the wrong track. We just mentioned don't focus on the outcomes, and we are like, if we read Gita, will we reach success? We should not even think about success. We just discussed success doesn't matter, journey matters.
Yeah, that's true.
Continue what you were saying.
I was just telling Gita will tell you what to become in the journey, not to fall on the destination.
We can't question we will get a success or not. We just have to
We just
follow
wait
it
on
because
the
we know
process.
if some people have got success because of it. So we are trying. We are not expecting anything because we all know expectations leads to hurts. We get hurt because, and that's what Geeta is saying. We should not expect. We should not expect the results, outcomes.
Now,
Geeta?
I would like to add one more thing, that since Bhagavad Gita teaches us about the detachment from results or the actions, and so it makes a person emotionally stable, which is much required in today's time.
Yeah, very right. It provides us psychological insights as well as physiological insights. As we mentioned earlier, yoga karma, so that's physiological insights. It
Yes.
makes us better in that way also. And as she mentioned, psychological insights. It makes us better in that way also.
Now, when it comes to books, we read so many books. Probably, I could name 3 to 4 books. One is coming to my mind is 48 Laws of Power, and the same could be true if we see it in Bhagwat Gita, and the same things are written in that. And so I would like her to elaborate on that.
Sorry, elaborate. Can you please repeat? Like to elaborate on what?
Power of 48 Laws of Power. I'm talking about the book where it talks about your friendship.
Yeah, okay, but the 40, actually 48 paths of power only help us to particular topics, but Bhagavad Gita helps help us emotionally, yeah, commercially,
In
on
student
our
life, in
personal
professional
student-
life,
yeah.
always. I
Yep.
think it's not comparable. We cannot compare Bhagavad Gita with any other book. It's not comparable. But he was not wrong. He mentioned a book which was useful. So
Yeah.
it's kind of it guides us on the same way Bhagavad Gita is guiding. But I think Bhagavad Gita is incomparable.
I agree.
Bhagavad Gita is also incomparable because it was said on the thousands of years ago, but still it is relevant and relatable because the person standing on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and the person sitting in this classroom is same. The internal structure of that person and this person is same. So the conflict of that person, this person is same. So the medicines or the therapy of the conflict is also becomes same.
Now I think that we should conclude this topic. So I would like to thank all for your thoughtful insights. So now it's clear that Bhagavad Gita teaches us about many things, like by following its teachings we can stay focused on our work, and we can bring leadership qualities which are much required in corporate life, and
What I was saying is, since we are coming to the conclusion, let's once summarize what we discussed. Let's reach a conclusion that how Bhagavad Gita, like Nishkama Karma we discussed Yoga Karma. Let's once have a quick, like 1.5 minute summary and this then conclude it. What's
Yes.
it? We should do it.
Yeah. Please proceed.
I think I will start with Nishkama Karma. We should, like what we discussed. काम करो, फल की चिंता मत करो, do your actions, but don't expect outcomes or results.
You can follow on the journey, just focus on your journey, not the path.
Don't be afraid of up and downs in your life.
Everyone is powerful in their own ways, and don't take your problems as bigger than yourselves, and tackle your problems with confidence.
It also tells us to how to handle our success, because success more put burden on our mind instead of failures.
Don't be taken away with heartbreaks too much.
Be self-confident and always move to the right path which your heart tells you to do.
we should not expect anything from anyone else, or like for the results also.
Instead of getting envious from others' success, we should take inspiration from them, and we can consider it divinity and take inspiration, and we can also become successful next time. And I think we can conclude here. Thanks to all my team members who did very well, I think, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.